Hello and good afternoon, one and all. Welcome to Telefónica's Agora. My name is Jorge Consejo, and I am a product manager in the video company department. My name is Sergio Sales, product manager, video companies, and Juan Cambeiro, innovation leader. This afternoon, we're going to be hearing about how video production consumption is changing and how companies must adapt to make sure we make the most of the value of the segment and not lose touch with our customers. I would like to do a little game with you. Do you recognize this person and why we brought him here? Because of course he has nothing to do. Ivan Llanos, this year in the broadcasting of the New Year's program, made more than 500,000 followers, the fifth most seen program, and it's not a TV broadcaster. This is a clear example on how video generation is changing and is becoming a key channel to interact with our customers. We need to be aware that video is available everywhere, and this is not an isolated case. Video as a format is not the monopoly of TVs anymore. We see it everywhere in social networks. 80% of the content share is composed by video. News agencies always include a video in their news, or companies project their brand image through video. So this is something that is happening today. So what happens is that in companies where the core is not video, find challenges when it comes to managing this new reality, because depending on who, how, and where this video is going to be downloaded, many aspects need to be taken into account, such as resolution and even coding. So all this entails a certain complexity for those who are not video managers by DNA. That's why in Telefónica we have developed a holistic value proposition trying to respond to our customers' needs. First, we have two blocks which are horizontal to all typology of customers, such as production and delivery. In production, we include all products and services that us, as a video company, put at the disposal of our customers to have a high-quality resolution video production, a corporate video, a communication, or even for some customers, we have produced documentaries on their everyday life activities. So we are enabling all these tools for companies, and us, of course, we're Movistar Plus, and we can offer both creativity and production capacities. In delivery, we include all products that help companies have their content always available, be it from the content environment, globally accessible environment, or the dissemination of their internal actions and the impact in their internal networks. We have some lines which are more specific by needs and by typology of customers. For example, we have a broadcast media line where we offer all the available products and services which are oriented to traditional producers, such as producers and TV broadcasters, or direct consumer line, where we help companies establishing a direct communication link with their customers through video. An example is what Renfe offers to AVE users. Renfe offers AVE users the possibility to download Movistar Plus contents, which turn anonymous travelers into unidentified customers and then personalize the offer. Or events. Events is a need, a new need resulting from today's society. So it's very difficult to meet. So formats like the one we are living here, which are hybrid, right? Face-to-face and online, they came to stay. So we can offer customers the habilitation of an area with AV materials and providing all the necessary solutions to disseminate content, or offering services, a key-in-hand service, using all the production capacities that we told you about before to put together an event thanks to the Movistar Plus capacities to enhance creativity, audiovisual production and the technological means, or the brand line where we bundle all the products that allow companies to have all the necessary resources related to the brand. Last but not least, computer vision, which is a line which is growing very fast. On the basis of video analytics, we extract information on AV content, and then we take automated decisions for processes, automation, or perhaps conclude insights. It's my turn. That's why, after this short summary to Telefónica's video proposition, we would like to make the most of this environment to focus on two initiatives that we're trying to improve in Telefónica, making the most of our 5G and X computing capacities, remote and computing. Jorge, tell us a little bit more. What is remote production? Well, remote production is a service that we're now improving within the production line. We use our 5G network and its computational capacity to remotely carry out the production of live events, recordings, thus allowing our customers to optimize the travels related to events by making the most of our X computing capacities and enhancing the inclusion of new technologies. But the optimization of all these elements that need to be deployed in each event, how is this performed? Well, for the realization of live events and the production of live content, we need to deploy a long list of material and human resources. Unfortunately, in today's context with the need to reduce costs, we need to find alternatives to reduce costs to the minimum. Thanks to this service, what we do is to deploy the necessary communications for all events and the hardware and software capacities or capabilities, rather, so that producers can connect remotely to perform their job, to do their job. So we only need to send the strictly necessary technical resources to the event site, thus reducing logistics costs and making the most of the time employed by producers. Producers can work in other productions, so the team's production capacity increases. Okay, but if there is a video broadcasting, for that you need broadband and very short latencies. Could this not have an impact on the quality of the program? Indeed. The thing is that thanks to the temporary communications link that we deploy, well, it has amazing features that allow us the necessary latencies for these sort of events. Thankfully, today with coding and compression protocols, latency has improved a great deal and broadband requirements are less strict. So, at the end of the day, we offer a high-quality service similar to broadcast companies, but we do not stick to transmission of the video from the venue to the LED. For a production to be successful, we need an intercommunication with all the team so that they can coordinate. So in the service, we have included intercom capabilities. Before you talked about LED, how does the service use lead? Well, this is the differential element of the service. We have used all the computational capacity deployed in Telefónica network so that temporarily and using our fiber network and in the future the 5G network, we can have a direct connection between the venue, or rather the area where the event is taking place, to the nearest nexus. So stable connection, short latency, and specific deployment of the needed software capabilities, software GPUs, so we can come up with the necessary production needs. Producers can connect online with a normal connection. They can connect to the node to do their job. And as a result of that, we achieve a very natural communication amongst them. The production happens in a very natural way, as if it was in a studio. What about technological development? How does it impact? So, In this service mode, or with this service, customers only need to take care of the production because we deploy the necessary software matching the needs of the event that is going to be deployed. So the investment in the incorporation of new technologies is minimized and everything is much more agile. Before you talked about the service mode, edge, cloud. Is this based in a pay-per-use model? No. We think that for customers it's much better to have a final price. So we want to offer price bundles beforehand so that customers know how much a production is going to cost without depending on CPUs, GPUs, or broadband consumption. And the service is not going to be offered only as a technological platform. We want to make the most of our production capacities, as you said before, and we can offer it as a key-in-hand service where we take care of the end-to-end product. Thank you very much, Jorge. Very interesting. Well, I believe now it's about time to change topics. Now, you are the computer expert, so how is that going to work? Computer vision. So, computer vision is a rather general concept. Computer vision includes the scientific capabilities that allow machines to understand the entities composing an image. And on the basis of that analysis, they extract information that can be used in real time for process automation, or it can be used to extract information. Well, there are different possibilities. The most commonly used one is the neuronal networks one, which is based on the following. There's a previous training stage where we teach machines and we teach them what they need to spot in images, and then once fed, algorithms are capable of spotting or detecting images in other videos. Wow, that sounds like data science and AI company. Well, yes and no. In a computer vision project, there's a device deployment stage. Then we have communications, and there's the infrastructures to process all the information. So all these, the insights, coding, storing is also a needed process. So whenever there are many video sources, this process can be very complex. And on the basis of all these, we build the analytics. Analytics is only one side of the coin. Computer vision makes sense if it offers an end-to-end process management. So it goes far beyond analytics. It's an end-to-end proposition. Could you give me a specific example about how this technology is being used? Indeed. It could be potentially used for anything that we can identify as humans visually with our eyes. If we have the sufficient number of images and enough time to feed or train an algorithms, anything that us humans can understand can be understood by a machine. So here I've brought some examples which are, as I said before, only examples about cases that have already been implemented in customers or that we're thinking about for some of our customers. So this is only a sample. Let me share some examples with you. In the more general side of things, we have horizontal things such as transcription or object detection, which is a basic use case to develop more complex ones, such as spotting whether people is wearing a mask or not, social distancing, etc. Or even the detection of fire or smoke. For a neuronal network, this is only an object. So as we said at the beginning, there are some use cases in which we carry out a forensic analysis, as perhaps emotion detection or categorization by age and gender, which allows us to come up with the statistics about, and there are other statistics which require of real-time information such as fire detection or smoke detection. In these cases, we are integrated with the production chain, and for example, if we are working with a customer classifying milestones or items in order to split them between two production lines, it's critical for things to happen in real time. Then, here we're speaking about things that can be perceived through our vision, what we call visible light vision. But there are other cameras that allow us to detect things at night when it's dark. With 3G cameras, we are guiding around robots or carrying out volumetric assessments. There are hyperspectral cameras that in sectors such as in the food industry are extremely interesting because they allow us to have a chemical vision to spot pathogens, chemical substances. For example, in the meat industry, we are even capable of diagnosing amyloidina. So all this allows us to automate processes by monitoring the 100% of the production in a model which was unthinkable in the past. Well, it sounds a little bit experimental. It sounds like science fiction. So what is the maturity stage of all these use cases? Well, it sounds like science fiction, but reality shows that the majority of these cases have already been implemented with customers, and they're working well, smoothly. Actually, I brought you a video where you can see some examples of these case uses in a production stage. Let's see it.
Y por ejemplo, tenemos un caso de detección de...
We have a detection system for a security company, smoke and fire detection systems. Here's a more generic case of logos identification. Here's an external vision with infrared cameras with a superficial effect. And here we have another example, hyperspectral cameras. So here's a project which spots mature strawberries, and then the robot knows where to cut it. And it's very interesting, isn't it? Oh, here's a sample where we carry out a high-speed quality control with a 360 vision of all the tops. Here's another example. And here, in difficult environments such as metal, because there's a lot of shiny elements, we're performing quality control. There's another use case, volumetric assessments of all the items stored in a warehouse. These are just a few examples, but I believe they prove that there's a quite advanced degree of maturity. Many of the use cases that we have seen, as far as I can see, there is a real-time requirement. And considering that we're speaking about video, which has some inherent challenges, how do you manage that with today's technology? So what we're doing basically is to work whenever it's necessary in real time with autonomous cameras that integrate computational capacity within the camera. So by doing so, we simplify the process of video transmission from the production area to the processing area. What about the technological evolution? How is it going to affect you? Well, we are convinced that 5G is going to help us. It's going to accelerate the process, and in many use cases, in many of these use cases, it's going to allow us to think about new deployment environments, mobility environments, mobile environments, isolated environments, etc. So this will allow us to split the camera and bring it to a cloud and make it much more scalable and thus optimizing the devices. But more than speaking about the capabilities that 5G will provide, let's make the most of the experts present, and let's hand it over to Juan Manuel so he can tell us a little bit more about how 5G and LEDs will contribute to the optimization of video. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are the experts. Sergio and Jorge shared Telefónica's video proposition, computer vision, automatic production of events. My role here is to speak about how 5G technology contributes to bringing all the services one step forward, one step higher. Let me start by saying that one of the first ecosystems that saw the value of the 5G implementation has been TV, media, and events. From the very beginning, it was clear that in order to ensure quality in the video segment, they needed 5G. To prove that this is not only about the benefits of new technologies, I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to show you with a real example, with a real use case that we're sharing this year at the MWC21. As Jorge said, this is a live broadcasting virtual production project. The project lasts for a couple of years. It will end by the end of June. It's an excellent project that helps us understand the implementation of 5G capabilities. We have deployed a 5G devoted network. At the right-hand side, in the markers, you can see these vertical bars with three antenna, the 5G antenna, 3.5 gigahertz, used for commercial networks in Spain at least. Here in the middle, you can see a 4G network. As you know, the first generation 5G network is still based on 4G networks. And here's a technology that you will see in very little stadiums in the world. This is what we call millimetric coverage in the broadband of 26 gigahertz. It's not even licensed. It's only available for pilot projects. And what's special about this? Well, it provides us a coverage of 5 gigabytes in download. And what do we do with this coverage? Well, we deploy it in the stadium, 8 cameras to record matches or games, PTZ robotized cameras, 2 in each end, 3 bullet cameras, the ones with a very long zoom, and a global 180 degrees camera in the top ceiling. Why 5G coverage? Well, they need to connect cameras, as you can see here on the right-hand side, in the bottom part of the screen. You can see how cameras are connected through 5G routers, and this saves us kilometers in fiber cable. It's very complicated to cable down a stadium. You need to be careful, but many parameters. So this saves a lot of time and money and resources. We can place the camera wherever we want and move it around. We can bring cameras that you plug in and out during a camera thanks to mobility technologies. What do? Well, we achieve automatic realization of events. We have the stadium cameras, as you can see. There are 3 types of cameras, as I said before, that send video through 5G. This 5G video is sent to an edge computing center. What is an edge computing center? Well, it means that the center is close to the action. We speak about the low latency of 5G. But if I have a low latency access, but the servers are in San Francisco, I gain nothing because I lose a lot of time. So if I want to reduce latency, I need a close access and an edge computing center where I launch the applications. Here we have a solution provided by an SME, by Simfo. They have a software, intelligent software that identifies each play, each move, and it includes predictive models that sends orders or commands to cameras so that cameras choose where to zoom in and out. Here's a feature of 5G, right? A lot of up broadband, of course. HD cameras need upload capacity, edge computing capacity, which is related to 5G, of course, due to the low latency and low latency in control. As you can see here, the cycle needs to be looped very quickly. The loop needs to be closed very quickly, rather. When I bring the camera somewhere, the board is not there anymore. So here are many features of 5G which are key. And there's another one which is still very important. What can you see here in this slide? Indeed, an empty stadium. Here's an empty stadium because it's a pilot picture, but during the pandemic and when we launched a trial, there were very few people in stadiums. But what will happen when there are 90,000 people watching a game and they all have a 5G phone? Can the network collapse? Indeed. So what will we do? We're going to ensure the service capacity with a technology called network slicing. What does network slicing mean? Well, I have a coverage in the stadium, but I save 40 or 50% of my capacity only for cameras to ensure that the critical service works even if the stadium is full. So in this use case, it is clear that the 5G can be implemented in video. What can we see in this service? Well, I'm going to share a short clip with you, but before, let me tell you, look at these three views. Top left, traditional mixer, 8 cameras. And then out video, AI produced. AI sends commands and selects the best camera to send a signal to the TV studio. And in the bottom left side of the screen, you can see a graphic representation of AI. I'm going to tell you more as we see the video. Thank you. As you can see, we have some cameras here, commands. There's an assessment about where the game is happening. And here's a representation about AI. AI is inventing what's going to happen. It's predicting what's going to happen. The goalkeeper, the players, the front runners, the ball. And here the white circle represents where AI systems understand that the action is going to happen. Thus, sending an instruction to the PTZ camera in order to zoom in. As you can see, vectors, points, then there's an assessment of the play, of the game, and then in order to not confuse the bolt player with the ball, I need to identify a movement to understand the center of action. And when we get here to the cameras, we commute and hop, see, there's been a change, left camera, and then zoom in into the corner, and here we can see an action and goal. So this is a automatic TV broadcasting solution, and this is not to replace a Barca Madrid match, right? It's a democratization tool. Not all teams can afford a high-quality production team, so it's very important to democratize. And if you have the cameras there, you don't even need anyone working in the stadium. So artificial intelligence will always be at your disposal. There's a very democratic, efficient, practical, scalable solution that allows us to bring live events to people. It's a democratization. Let me give you 2 more examples. TV. Live broadcasting. Something happens somewhere. You need to send a team right away. You travel quickly to a camera. You connect the camera to a van. It's not easy to be quick. What's the alternative? Here's a demo that has been operating in our offices. You take the camera, you put it in your backpack, you connect it through 5G, and in the edge computing, we will offer you a production service. Then a production professional will connect from home, see the different cameras that are connected through 5G, and you perform a production for a live streaming. What is the key feature here? Service quality. As this customer oftentimes tell us, Well, they say, in this case, I don't need gigabytes. My camera, if I have 8 megabytes, it's enough. But please ensure these 8 megabytes. I want to ensure the live streaming. So if you are capable of having a technology that says, listen, today from 7 to 8, I need you before the Audiencia Nacional, the Supreme Court here in Spain. So I cannot base a critical business model. I can rely, right, on this technology. Here's another example. Special events. Think about special events. Events that happen once a year, twice a year. Golf competitions, Formula One, a yacht competition such as the Volvo Ocean Race. Organizers deploy thousands or tens of frequencies. Look at the yacht. Sensors, cameras on board, telemetrics of all sorts. Frequencies that get all the way to the end of the world, inside, deep down the sea. Data deployment. So these deployments are extremely expensive. 5G technology will play a key role. For example, with 700 megahertz high penetration things with millimetric waves, gigabytes. It's very important to gather information. So all this is done only with ad hoc deployments where you need to add or ask for a permit. Very complex networks. So in the future with 5G, you will have a network that will provide you the necessary capability to base your live streaming on it. And here's my little pitch elevator. Now questions, if there are any. Otherwise, we'll leave it here. I think we're running out of time, so that's it from our side. Thank you very much. As you know, you can keep launching your questions, and we are at your entire disposal. Thank you very much.